How long does it take to don armor? Let's find out. Hello everyone and welcome back. So today we're going to test how long it takes to put on armor. So I have my whole suit of armor here and I'm going to put it on and time how long it actually takes to put on the whole suit, and we're also going to test how long it takes to take it off. And I think that this is something that we don't really speak about enough, and that is actually really interesting, whether it's in reality or in RPGs or in whatever, because if you were to know that you're going to be attacked by a group of orc, for example, in 20 minutes, well, it's very useful to know whether you have the time to put on your armor or not. Or whether you should put on only some parts of it to spare some time, or what you should do. So I think it's really interesting to know. So of course I'm going to be testing it with my armor. My armor is not necessarily representative of all the armors out there, but it gives you a rough idea. And of course there are some knight armors or plate armors that couldn't even be put on by a single person. You as a knight couldn't put on your whole suit of armor alone. You needed a squire to put on your armor. And of course, if you have a squire, it will reduce the time you actually take to put on your armor. So my armor is not fully representative of all the armors, but it gives you a rough idea, and I will be putting individual timers up for each individual part of the armor, so you can see which part takes the longest to take on, and which one you potentially shouldn't take on at all if you were in a hurry and needed to put on your armor fast. Okay, so let me run you through all the different steps needed to take on this armor and each of the individual parts. So we're going to start off by putting on the greaves. The reason why I'm starting off with the greaves is that bending down to attach the greaves is relatively easy when I'm not wearing anything. However, once I'm wearing mail and lamella and stuff like that, bending down is way harder. It's still perfectly possible, but it makes it way harder. So I'm going to start off with these greaves. Then I'm going to move on to these, which are, they're basically foot wraps, but I'm using them to tie them around the knee guard on my greaves, because the knee guard makes a lot of sound when I'm walking around. And of course, those foot wraps aren't necessary, but I'm just putting them on when I'm going to wear my armor for a long time, and don't want the greaves to make a ton of noise. So these are only optional, and if I was to hurry up and get my armor on fast, I wouldn't put on these at all. So then the next part will be to put on this tunic. So it's a very thick tunic that I'm using instead of a gambeson that would normally be used. Now the reason why I'm not using a thin gambeson instead of this tunic is for several reasons. First of all, I don't really have a thin gambeson that fits well on me. And second, this offers way enough padding, especially because I already have a rather thick tunic on me. So this offers way enough padding for the mail and the lamella. Not only that, but I don't need a lot of padding, because I have lamella that absorbs a lot of blunt force. So once I have that tunic on, I'm going to put on the mail shirt. Then I'm going to move on to the lamellar, and then we're going to put on the arm guards, so the ones we made. Now I have tested these on with the rest of the armor, and I have to put these on under the mail, so I basically have to roll up the sleeve on the mail to put on these only on top of the tunic, and then roll the sleeve of the mail over again. That's not a problem, it's just something I have to do, and not really any problem. Then I'm gonna take on this gambeson hood or coif, or whatever you want to call it, which is basically offering padding for my helmet, which is the next thing I'm gonna put on, because this helmet has no padding in it. It's just bare metal, so if I was to put this on straight on my head, it wouldn't be very comfortable, and it wouldn't protect a lot, because all the force would just go straight into the metal and hit my head. So I need some kind of padding. That's why I'm using this. Usually, historically, helmet would have some sort of padding, or at least a kind of leather thing in the inside that made the helmet sit on top of your head with the leather in between. But not all of them had that, and it was common anyways to have one of these. Yeah, that is basically what I'm gonna do, and I will put a timer on the screen for the whole suit of armor, and I'll put one timer for each individual part, because it might be interesting to know, well, how long does it take to put on the mail shirt compared to the lamellar, and therefore if I only had time to put one on, which one would I actually put on, and so on. So let's get started. So I forgot to mention it, but I'm also going to put on this camouflage scarf that I'm just going to put on top of my head like that, just to hold the hair away from the other part of the armor which it might hook up onto. So I'm also going to put on this, and well, let's get started. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, that's it, the whole armor. So that took me, I'm looking at the time I've been filming here, 10 minutes. I don't know what the exact time will be because I don't have the timer. I'm just looking at how long I filmed, and that took me apparently 10 minutes. I am actually really surprised. I was expecting 20 minutes or something. Like 20 minutes is usually the time I take, I would say, to put on this whole suit of armor when I'm not rushing. Of course, now I try to do it as fast as possible. But yeah, actually only 10 minutes. So that's actually surprising. Anyways, yeah, it went actually surprisingly fast. I wasn't expecting it to go that fast. Okay, so now we are going to move on to the next part, which is going to be how long does it take to remove this armor? And you'll see that's going to be way faster, but it's nice to test anyways because it might be useful to know. Well, let's get started straight away. done. So that went way faster. I'm guessing like around 2 minutes or something. Clearly way easier to remove armor than to take it on, as expected. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.